So last 3 classes we were all solving algebra, trying to find some puzzles. How do I solve puzzles? The methods that whatever you know you try to solve. So today I'm going to talk about the mathematicians, Indian mathematicians contributed to the world. What all the ways they could think of solving problems and gave a gift to the world. So most of them will not be knowing the names of those mathematicians. You all know Einstein. You all know Newton.
Yes.
So this because we have been reading in our textbooks about them, but we never heard about Aryabhatta or other mathematicians who contributed to the mathematics. So today's class is all about them and what they did to, how they contributed to mathematics. The first thing is, if you see, there are certain people whom I just listed who have contributed to algebra specifically. So the first one is Pingala. So 300 BC. If you can see the timeline, 300 BC is now we are in 2026. So go back to 0 and then from 0 you go back to, that's how they date it. So this span is like how many years old? We don't know. So Indian thought of mathematics started from there. Maybe it was recorded from there. So Pingala is the one who started binary system, zeros and ones. What you see nowadays in computers, he started that kind of calculations, on and off. So the whole computers works with binary systems. That is his contribution to mathematics. So his name is Pingala. So if you see Chandas says, if you study Sanskrit, right? In that Sanskrit there are meters. He is the one who found that meters.
Distance.
So how sometimes you go high, sometimes you go low, sometimes you go high. So he found that kind of calculations. Now coming back to all this. So coming back to the next mathematician is Aryabhatta. So Aryabhatta he also found decimal system, all this, and also he was the first one to find the distance from Sun to Earth, all the planets. So astronomy is more, this person is the one who did a lot of astronomical calculations. So his name is Aryabhatta. We give credit for finding 0 to him also. So Indians who found out 0. Before that, nobody knew how to place value systems. So Indians are the one who gave place value system. Even 1,000, 10,000, 3,000 they can calculate. Even recently also they couldn't do that. Only Indians gave 0, then they found out the decimal system. So that is what it's about Aryabhatta. So first I will read the names of mathematicians. So you can repeat. Pingala, then comes Aryabhatta, Brahmagupta, Mahaviracharya, that last time I gave a class about him. Bhaskara too, he is the one who wrote a book called Leelavati, and he has a lot of other books also. And Narayana Pandita and Mahadeva. So he gave calculus, which later Newton found or Einstein did it. These are the people who gave it before only. And there are proofs of that.
Where is the Kerala?
He was in Kerala. He started a school in Kerala, so we call it as Kerala school. So we connect him with Kerala. So some people were in Ujjain, some people were in Karnataka. So these were the mathematicians in different places of India. So Pingala, Aryabhatta, Brahmagupta, Mahavira, Bhaskara. So when I'm teaching algebra, I'll also connect with their theories and I'll teach you based on them. So I'll not be teaching you most of the modern things, but I'll be teaching the old one and then connect it to the modern calculations and how their contribution helped in mathematics. Okay? So first person is Pingala, next one is Aryabhatta, then Brahmagupta, and what they did. So Aryabhatta is the one who found decimal system. Now you see linear equations. He is the one who did it. And graphical methods, linear algebra, finding the graphs. And he also gave insights about astronomical thing. So he calculated the positions of moon, planets, and when will the eclipse be. He would say what type of, when eclipse happens. All this was given by Aryabhatta. So much of knowledge he had in 400 BC. Next is Brahmagupta. The concept of zero was found by Brahmagupta. And in those days, having a positive numbers, negative numbers, what are those numbers? Integers. These are all found by him. So why do you need negative numbers? For example, you take money, you give money, giving and taking. So adding the wealth, all these calculations was done by. And what you see, this quadratic equations. Can you make a square? Can you add two squares? So Brahmagupta gave the identities of all these things. So next classes I'll be teaching about all how they found it, how they thought. Not the drill of calculating, but how the concept was explained, how they could realize it. That's my class. Thinking, the mathematical thinking of ancient Indians. So this is our class, and also we'll solve some problems and different methodologies. Not just like exercises, but you have to think like them. How could they get those ideas? So last few classes when you are doing, it took so much of time to just realize what is the problem, and it took 1 or 2 days to solve simple problems. Dedication and Mahaviracharya. What did he find? Permutations, combinations, fraction, arithmetic series, infinite series, all these things. So you will be learning all these things maybe in 3-4 months. Okay? Next is Narayana Pandita. So Pascal's triangles or Meru. So if you start stacking things to an infinity like a triangular numbers, what are the total numbers? He had a different concept of finding all these things.
Cow recurrence?
What's
cow recurrence?
Okay, if you have 2 cows, it gives birth to 1 cow. That becomes, again that 2 cows will give 3. So how it increases each pair. So you have 1 pair, and again 2 pair, 3. So he gives a number of binomial this thing. So he found, for example, if you have 2 cows, it gives birth to 1 cow, and that again breeds, and parallelly you have a branching of 3-4 families, and again it has a different. So totally, how much family you have? For example, you have parents will have 7 children. That 7 children will have another 7 children, and that 7 children will have again 7 children. By the end of 50 years, how many people are there? So that kind of calculations they did. Is it necessary to calculate all these things?
Yes.
Why? Why do you have to do all this thinking? Why do you have to calculate so much? Why should you know why the planets are here, there? Have you thought of it? Why do you have to do mathematics?
For our daily.
Okay. Without mathematics, can you not survive with food?
Yes, we can, but to buy the food we need.
Okay. Why else?
We always have a question on how things happen, and that's why we give set things numbers, and from those numbers we give explanations on how you get the numbers and so on.
So it's a curiosity of a human being to find something beyond their capabilities. So if you see a sun, why is the sun like that? How much far is it? How much are the planets? Why the planets are going around us? So Aryabhatta also gave theory of relativity that if you're sitting and travel, it's not, is the earth rotating or the moon rotating or sun rotating? If you all have experienced it. If you sit in here and if something moves, is it you moving or that object is moving? If you sit in a train, you always feel you are stationary, the train is moving. Actually, you are moving. So this is the confusions Indian has clarified. So it's not, the sun is not moving from east to west, it is you moving from around the sun. Because you're on the earth, you feel that sun is moving. That is the relativity theory that they explain. Point of view. And Narayan Pandita, we have Madhavacharya. So the school of Kerala. So infinite series. Last time I told you 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 100. Now this is fractions also. It is, these are higher mathematics. When you finish your basics of mathematics, then I'll teach you this. What if I continuously keep on adding? What will you get? What are these graphs? What are these curves? Infinite series. Why you need to find up to infinity? All these calculations we can study over a period of time. So now I don't want your mathematics to be graded. That means it's a 8th standard mathematics, it's a 9th standard mathematics, it's a 10th standard mathematics. No. The mathematics is you're going to learn something based on your capabilities. If you're capable of solving this, don't worry, you will solve it. Don't think it's just 8th standard mathematics, why should I study beyond college level, university level? If your brain has a capacity to understand this, I'm happy to teach you. And it's my duty to make it understandable. Even though it looks very complicated to calculate the distance from Earth to Moon, if someone can explain it to you properly, how can you do it? Then it becomes more easier. It's not just the methodology, it's about the thinking and attitude towards the solution. That will help you to understand mathematics better. Now coming back to Bhaskara, my favorite mathematician. Because he tells every problem in terms of stories. That is where even you are a beginner, you will love his stories and you will try to understand the puzzles and how to solve it. Your quadratic equations, all these kinds of, his algebra is something makes you to think. And when you read the textbooks, you can't understand algebra. Why is x? What is x? Why is this unknown? So he made it simpler for people to understand it in terms of stories. Now, Arjuna had put some arrows. Half of the arrows went this side, half of the arrows went this side. Now, how much is the total arrows? So such kind of curiosity stories, and he puts it in an equation and asks you to find the answers. So, in future, if you have a book on Leelavati and translation, read it. You'll enjoy it. Before that, you need to learn basics, fractions, additions, subtractions, all these things. Okay? And next person, Madhava, Kerala. We already saw this, right? Huh? Any question? That's about Indian mathematician. To conclude, so what are the mathematicians' names that you remember?
Aryabhatta,
Brahmagupta,
Madhava,
Madhavacharya, Madhava to Bhaskaracharya, Narayan Gupta, Narayan Pandita, Narayan Gupta. And recent Indian mathematicians, you all remember Srinivas Ramanujan. So they have contributed to the mathematics. You also can explore the modern mathematicians, what they have contributed, and so refer it to the ancient Indian mathematicians.
Modern mathematicians meaning anywhere else or only
Oh,
modern
how?
mathematicians?
All world. See, you need to know why and what they have solved. And why are you reading so much in your mathematics textbook? Why should I read all these things? Why should I know all these things? Is it just for entertainment or you are improving your life, human life?
You're answering the questions you have.
So someone found the distance from Earth to Moon and someone set a rocket to Earth to Moon. So it's always progressively. So once information, once knowledge will be held, they advance it, and these people make a machines to reach it, and physically you can see it. In those days, most of them didn't understand what they were talking about. But now everything is like you can see what's happening. Any questions, any doubts? So it is important to know your roots. See, whatever the foundation was laid, we are building on it. But we also have to know where it has come from. We know some equations are found by some like Newton or Einstein. Yes, they have found it, but there was also there was a link. How could they realize it? So we have to be proud of our own people. So next time onwards, when I'm teaching some methods, if I know they are founded by Indians, then it's better to know, okay, this is how they had permutations, combinations. Every mathematics, you need to know the history behind it also, so it becomes interesting.
Was that the mathematician who told that story?
Bhaskaracharya.
Bhaskaracharya.
Leelavati
So
is a
he
book.
used to tell these stories in English or
No, Sanskrit.
Sanskrit?
So after Sanskrit, people have translated into English and other languages. They found the methods, and we lost it, and they made it as copyright, and they said, okay, you learn from them, and you don't know that we have also added before, but we never kept
We
it.
never knew it.
We never knew it. So when we research now, we can go back to the roots and say, okay, this was found by some person in India. So why I'm giving this class is to know. Okay, it's interesting to know how they found it when there were no instruments to calculate. Now at least you know you have a calculator, you can confirm. In those days, their brain was too advanced. They can even do calculation, they can even find, oh, okay, this is the star going to be on the month of November, how many months and when it will come, when will all the planets align in one line, astronomy, astrology. They had the knowledge of all these things. Now we use computer for everything, so you know, AI gives you answers. In those days, these people used to give answers.
They used to mostly guess.
They used to calculate it and then tell you the answers. Guess, I don't think so. Even if you have to guess, you need some logical guesses. In those days, nobody proves, okay, this is what. But now we know how they have also proofs of doing it. So Srinivasa Ramanujan had given so much of knowledge, but he did not give proofs. He just said, I had a dream. In dream, goddesses gave me the answers. Even now, people start working on those to prove.